Good evening, everybody. We have already crossed around 300 mark, I believe. Friends, we are here in a webinar organized by the South Zone. I welcome you all, and I also request Satyanarayan ji to take over the further proceedings. Satyanarayan ji, please take over. I welcome the speakers, Bimal, Jain, Murthy, and the other past presidents. Please move on.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, madam. I welcome today's speaker, Sri Bimal Jain, Dr. Murthy, President Nikita madam, Secretary General Samir Bhai, and all our South Zone Chairman, Mr. S.N. Prasad, and all our friends. Good evening to all. I request Mr. Prasad to give his welcome, because he is the chairman of the Southern Zone. I request him to give a welcome address.
Good evening to all. Good evening to all, madam. This is the first
South Zone webinar from our side, and I thanks to our Nikita Badeka madam and also Samir Jani and all head office officials. So this is the first time we are organizing. In future also we are doing like so many webinars from you with your cooperation, and I welcome our chartered accountant Bimal Jain. आज का GST क्या देने के लिए आया है आज वो स्पीकर आज का आप सभी का कोऑपरेशन में ये ऑर्गेनाइज हुआ है ऑल चेयरमैन ऑल जोनल चेयरमैन को भी मैं वेलकम कर रहा हूँ ऑल ऑफिस बेरर को भी वेलकम कर रहा हूँ ऑल पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट भी वेलकम कर रहा हूँ और इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टैक्स
Let me start. It's a very good topic, works contract services. I'm going to discuss almost around 1 hour, 15 to 30 minutes only on works contract and construction services. Now, here when I'm saying so, what I want from each one of you, first of all, you should mute your microphone. You should mute your microphone. Because there is some standard SOP. Whenever we are doing Zoom meeting or any meeting, your microphone should be muted. So that in between, if you're talking to your colleagues, relatives at your home, it will not be audible to everyone here. So kindly mute your microphone. And then let me start with, in case you're having any query, you got comment box on your right-hand side. You put your question therein. I will pick up your question as and when I'm passing through with my topic so that I can see what question you're posting. And second, you can see me also what I'm deliberating. So that's the way we would be doing that. Hope everyone has muted their microphone. Now let me start with a positive note that AIFTP is organizing South Zone organizing this webinar on an important topic. We are under lockdown time period. We all are fighting together against this corona, and I'm of the view together we will defeat corona. So without taking much time, let me come to the topic, works contract and construction. This topic are divided into 10 components, 10 important parameters. So these 10 important parameters will give you a clarity on this subject matter under GST. The topic is construction. Now my first question, what is construction in GST? If you look at the definition of works contract, maybe you can keep a piece of paper and pen and note down wherever you feel relevant for your digest later on. So works contract is being defined under section 2, subsection 119 of CGST Act. And it says contract where you got transfer of property in goods in same form or other form. And the contract like construction, erection, commissioning, installation, completion, fitting out, repair, maintenance, renovation, alteration. There are 14 terms. There are 14 terms: building, fabrication, used under this definition, which is in relation to immovable property. Immovable property. So there's a departure from pre-GST to post-GST. Pre-GST, as we know, that these terms could have been applied even for movable or immovable property, but post GST, if at all we are looking at works contract services, then this has to be in relation to immovable property. Now, having said that, first question goes to all of you. You would be rehearsing within yourself. If you like, you can put your answer in a comment box as well. There are two terms given to me: construction versus works contract. I have said what is the meaning of works contract, which includes construction, erection, commissioning, installation. So construction, the term, is being included within the definition of works contract. Hence, works contract services are wider definition, and construction is a part of works contract services. This is the first part. Now, having said that, second point of my subject matter today. Now, I said works contract services. Now it is only in relation to immovable property. Now we have to determine whether this is a supply of goods or supply of services. We all know Article 366, 29. We know that works contract was deemed sell under pre-GST era, under VAT laws. Now we have changed the definition, made it in relation to immovable property, and any works contract by default contain material and contain labor or services. Now you all have to determine whether this contract is now supply of goods or supply of services. Let's assume you got 100 rupees works contract, 100 rupees works contract, wherein you got 70 rupees material and 30 rupees labor or services. Whether this would be called supply of goods or supply of services. Here, I would like to draw your attention that there is Schedule 2 in GST, which determine a transaction can either be termed as supply of goods or supply of services. So in GST, as per para 6A, of Schedule 2, works contract shall be deemed to be supply of service contract. So irrespective of value of material or services, it will always be supply of service contract. Now I'm starting a concept. There's a concept called composite supply versus mixed supply. As we all know, composite supply means two or more taxable supplies bundled, naturally bundled in conjunction with each other. Then that composite supply going to be taxable on the basis of principal supply of that combo. So taking the same example forward, 100 rupees works contract, you got 70 rupees material, and you got 30 rupees labor or services. As per para 6A of Schedule 2, it is deemed now supply of services. Then value of material has lost its relevance now. It will always be supply of service. Now this question is very important, and let me ask to the audience. They will only put in comment box, nothing from the mouth. Your microphone should be muted. Whatever you want to respond back, kindly write down in a comment box. can I, as a works contract service provider, bifurcate? Is the option available to me to bifurcate my works contract into material and labor separately? This is my question. Please write in your comment box, can I do that? Can I do that? Okay. Okay. So the one guy said yes, but so quickly answer I'm getting, so it has moved. Advocate Lokendra Jain Ujjain says yes. Incorrect. Now works contract cannot be bifurcated as per your wisdom. It will always be supply of service contract, and you have to apply GST rate as per service rate notification. Now, having said that, I would like to draw one attention to you. This is very important, and government is doing mockery with the GST law. Mockery with the GST law. With a subtle concept, there is legislation provision in GST law that there has to be composite supply or mixed supply. I've said composite supply means two or more taxable supply, naturally bundled in conjunction with each other. That would be taxable on the basis of principal supply. And what is the definition of mixed supply? Two or more supply. There's no word used taxable. Two or more supply, not naturally bundled, sold under single price, then this mixed supply going to be taxable on the basis of highest rate of that combo. So this was the definition. Now let me ask one thing to all of you, and this is the question which is creating a problem, that whether this government is really making GST good and simple tax or complicating the situation. Let's say you're going for repairing of car. You are having your own car and you are coming to me, I'm your service provider, for repairing of car. For repairing of car, I have to repair your car. So for repairing of car, I'm using 8,000 rupees auto components, and auto component taxable at the rate of 28%. And I will charge my service charge 2,000 rupees, that is taxable at the rate of 18%. So total is 10,000 rupees. Now my question goes once again to all of you. This repairing of car, first you answer. You have to only answer in short, nothing else. I'm just taking you all along. This repairing of car is also requiring material, auto component, 28% GST rate, requiring labor component, 2,000 rupees, 18% GST rate. Tell me whether this is a works contract service. Say yes or no. Say yes or no. It's not a works contract service. Perfect, perfect. I'm really loving it. I'm really loving it. Now, next question to you. So, whether this repairing of car can be considered as a composite supply or mixed supply, because there are two supply involved. Supply of auto component and supply of labor. Tell me, composite supply or mixed supply? Composite supply. Perfect, perfect. Now tell me the third question. Composite supply of goods or services? Goods or services? Quick, because 8,000 rupees auto component, 2,000 rupees labor component. It's a goods or services. Those who are responding goods. Those who are responding both. My humble request to all of you. Kindly look at the motive of this transaction. When you're coming for getting your car repaired, is it your intention to buy auto component? No. You're not coming to me for purchase of auto component. No, you're coming only for getting your car repaired. So your intention is to avail my services, not the auto component. Even though auto component 8,000 rupees, but this is being naturally bundled with my supply of services which you wanted to avail. So it would be supply of service, composite supply. So I said 28% auto component, 8,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees labor charges, 18%. Now I'm saying it's a composite supply of service, then whole combo going to be taxable at what rate? 28 or 18? 28 or 18? Okay, it should be 18%. It should be 18%. 28 is applicable only when you term it as a supply of goods. So 18% decided. Perfect. Now my next question to all of you, and this is very interesting one. Can I bifurcate this repairing of car into two invoices? Supply of auto component 8,028%, supply of services 18% on 2,000 rupees. Can I do that? Can I do that? Please tell me yes or no. Can I bifurcate? Now my answer to all of you, listen to me carefully. Perfect. You all are writing in a comment box. Highly appreciated. Listen to me now carefully. See, if we look at the concept of composite supply, then as per me, if bifurcation is being allowed, it is going to create legal dispute. Then what is the relevance of composite supply? Why then provision existing for composite supply? If bifurcation is being allowed, but nevertheless, this bifurcation is being allowed by way of circular number is 47, dated 8th June 2018. Circular says, Bimal, possible, bifurcated. So now having said that, now this bifurcation is made permissible. When this made permissible, now I'm connecting with the works contract services. My question goes to all the audience now. When for repairing of car which is pertaining to movable, not a works contract services, but was composite supply of services, now made bifurcation possible and permissible by way of circular, why can't I bifurcate works contract services into material and labor separately? This is my question. So maybe answer would be coming both way. Now since para 6A has determined this works contract services as a supply of service to me, I have got very limited choice. I cannot bifurcate. Now, having said that, one change made by this government in 31st GST Council meeting, this was decided. And let me tell you what they did it. There is a specific industry, solar power panel. They manufacture and supply solar power panel along with erection and commissioning, EPC contract of solar power panel. Now tell me, in solar power panels, supply made, erection and commissioning is being done. It is embedded with earth. Once it is embedded with earth and permanently fastened with the earth, it becomes immovable property. And dispute watch, I'm dispute raging before you. This dispute watch whether this EPC contract which I'm referring to, or supply of erection, commissioning, installation altogether I'm referring to for this solar power panel is a supply of goods or works contract services. Because when you look at this contract, you may come out that 80 to 90%, depending, it may vary because it is all facts. I'm giving 80 to 90% would be value towards supply of goods. Only 10 to 20% would be supply of services. Now this question has gone to two different advanced ruling authority of two different states, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Now my question, because before I conclude, I want to answer from you. If you look at this supply, including erection, commissioning and installation, whether you will term it as a supply of goods, tell me yes or no. Yes or no. I just would like to see your answer in yes and no. Yes and no. Okay, you are saying yes also, you are saying no also. And that's what it happens. Believe me, one advanced ruling has concluded it is supply of goods because principal supply is solar power panel. It is being supplied. Erection, commissioning, installation is only incidental. So it is composite supply wherein principal supply, the supply of solar power panel, GST rate 5%. 5%. Another authority saying, no, I'm not going to look at anything. If anything which is being fastened, embedded with earth, it becomes immovable property. Hence, this is works contract services. 18% GST rate applicable for same transaction. So look at one state authority saying 5% supply of goods being composite supply. Another authority saying no, Bimal is a supply of works contract services, 18% applicable. Government made one change particular to this industry, And what they did in 31st GST Council meeting, which was held on 22nd December 2018, they held now henceforth from 1st January 2019, such contract would be divided deemingly. I'm saying deemingly. 70% of such contract would be supply of goods, 5% GST rate. 30% of such contract would be supply of service, 18% applicable. Now this is notified. Rate notification got amended. Now my question goes to, once again, to all of you. There are two open issues in this transaction. The first transaction, when para 6A of schedule 2 is saying that it is works contract services, why government on the basis selective mechanism picking up one industry and then creating this works contract services deemed bifurcated into two components? My first question, if it is happening, then this may create problem for future as well, for other industry as well, like repairing of car. Somebody said bifurcation possible, somebody said bifurcation not possible, and we are debating between composite versus separate billing to the customer. I'm saying GST is not getting simplified for simple reason that it is not going with the analogy it needs to have. When they have made changes on 1st January 2019, they left open-ended. What is the open-ended they have left? First, it is going to be prospectively applicable or retrospectively applicable. Can I do this deeming fiction prospectively or retrospectively? I can very well argue it is clarificatory in nature and can be applied retrospectively. Second, what happened if my contract actual material is 80% as against deeming fiction of 70%? So you wanted me to pay 18% on 10% excess, which otherwise supposed to be 5%. So I'm saying that changes are being made, but changes are not commensurating the way it should have been made. It was my second point before you. Coming to the third point of my discussion. Third point of my discussion. Third point. Third point I'm going to discuss with input tax credit and valuation. I will connect third and fourth point together. ITC and valuation. Listen very carefully. I'm going to create a lot of practical case studies so that it will really clarify your mind. Mr. Satyanarayan, when he spoke to me for this topic today, he was concerned about taxability of construction services when provided by subcontractor to the main contractor and main contractor providing services to the ultimate client. Now, let me take first input tax credit. Then I will come and connect with the valuation. Listen very carefully, and I'm sure you must be paying attention, and I need your answer in the comment box. I'm reading your open question, whatever you are leaving it to me, and I will try to take up as and when I'm moving through. Now, for works contract services, I'm a supplier. Assume I'm a supplier. And you all assume that you are my client. You all assume you are my client. So all of you are my client. You have given one contract to me for construction of factory. Construction of factory. I have to undertake construction of factory for you. 100 crore rupees. 100 crore rupees. Now, when we are talking about ITC, input tax credit, then what are the questions will come in? The first question will come, Bimal Jain, being supplier, being contractor, undertaking construction of factory. So there is no doubt I'm undertaking works contract services. This has been clarified. Second, I would be purchasing goods, cement, iron, steel. I would be deploying certain laborers to undertake construction of factory to my client, to all of you. 100 crore rupees. So on cement and iron steel, my supplier going to charge GST to me. On services, my supplier going to charge GST to me. So question will come, whether Bimal Jain as a contractor can avail credit of GST charge on goods or services which is used by Bimal Jain for construction of immovable property. Next question could be, let's say 100 crore rupees contract got bifurcated. I given 50 crore rupees subcontract to my subcontractor, and he will undertake works contract services for Bimal Jain, and Bimal Jain going to use this work subcontractor services, which is eventually works contract services, for the provision of construction of factory. He is going to charge GST, whether that credit is available to Bimal Jain. These are the questions. Now, having said that, I'm creating provision and then discussing with all of you. There is section 17, subsection 5, clause C and clause D. Section 17, subsection 5 says, notwithstanding anything contained under section 16, subsection 1 or under section 18, subsection 1. There are certain goods and services on which GST paid, and I'm going to use such goods or services for my business in the course of or furtherance of business. Still credit is not available. What is 17 subsection 5 clause C? Listen very carefully. Very, very interesting. Listen very carefully. It says, works contract services used for construction of immovable property, credit is not available except plant and machinery. Except plant and machinery. And then one more exclusion is being drawn if it is being used as an inward supply. So works contract service used as an inward supply for the provision of my outward supply, which is again works contract services, then credit is available. So let me create 3-pointer, and you have to really digest today. First, works contract services provided by Bimal Jain to you, to my client, for construction of factory, which is immovable property. Can you avail credit? Write down in your comment box. Being client as a recipient, can you avail credit? Say yes or no. Credit is not available to the client. Credit is not available. So those who are writing yes must correct themselves. Credit is not available, even though you're going to use in the course or furtherance of business. Credit is not available. Second question. What is the meaning of construction now? We have understand the definition of works contract. Now we have to listen what is the definition of construction. So construction is being defined by way of explanation, and they say construction means reconstruction, renovation, addition, alteration, or repair. 5 terms used, and which is being capitalized with the value of immovable property. Which is being capitalized with the value of immovable property. So having said that, let me ask another question to all of you. Another question. Let's say I have undertaken repair of immovable property, repair of your office, repair of your factory, and then raising invoice, charging GST, then being client. You're not capitalizing in your books of accounts. You're rather booking to your PL account, revenue expenditure. You're not capitalizing with your capital asset, immovable property. Whether credit is available, say yes or no. Say yes or no. Yes, ITC available. So those who are writing no, still correct themselves. So I'm giving answer. So those who are giving incorrect answer must correct themselves. When value is not capitalized, credit is available. Coming to the next portion of the 17 subsection 5 clause C, it says other than plant and machinery. So works contract services used for plant and machinery, then credit is available. So what is plant and machinery? For availing credit, plant and machinery means any equipment, apparatus, or machinery embedded, fixed with the earth by way of foundation or structural support. And that plant and machinery you are going to use for your outward supply of goods or services. But excludes. So plant and machinery, what could not be? Any land and building, any telecommunication tower, and any pipeline laid outside the factory. These 3 are excluded from the definition of plant and machinery. So if I post a query to you, let's say you develop some structural support, which includes certain civil works also. And then plant and machinery is being affixed on that. So whether this structural support, which includes civil work as well, looks like construction of immovable property, but used as a structural support for plant and machinery, whether credit is available, say yes or no. Yes or no. Perfect. Yes. Yes. All right. Everything is correct. Everything is correct. Now coming to the last component of this particular provision. It says, when Bimal Jain as a main contractor giving works contract services to my client can't take credit. Client can't take credit. But if Bimal Jain, being main contractor, has subcontracted the work, let's say 50 crore out of 100 crore, and Mr. A is undertaking subcontract work, he's going to charge GST for works contract services to Bimal Jain, who's a main contractor. Whether GST charged by subcontractor on 50 crore to a main contractor for works contract services, whether credit is available, say yes or no. Yes, perfect. Credit is available. Very well. We are going fine. I'm very happy the way you people are really getting to it. Now coming to the 17 subsection 5 clause D. Listen very carefully, then we are going to create good interest today that what we are learning, how we can apply in our practical exposure. 17 subsection 5 clause D. What it says, Bimal, credit is not available on goods which can be cement, iron, steel, or services used for construction of immovable property. Credit is not available. When you purchase on your own account, even though you are going to use in the course of furtherance of business. Now, what is this provision? Listen very carefully. Being company, you have given a contract to me for 100 crore. Am I right? Now, which includes everything, cement, iron, steel, and everything. Now, instead, you as a company, as a customer, as a client, have purchased cement and iron steel. You have purchased from the market directly, and supplier has charged GST to you. And then you have given this cement and iron steel to me to be used for construction of factory. My first question to all of you, being company, cement and iron steel, which is goods, purchased for construction of immovable property, can you avail credit? Please say yes or no. Yes or no. Perfect. Everyone is saying no. That was the answer. Because it is for your own account. It is for your own account. You purchase goods, credit is not available. Very well. Let me change this situation. As a main contractor, I purchase the cement and iron steel. I purchase. Being main contractor, I purchase. And the supplier charge GST to me. As a main contractor, can I avail credit? Tell me yes or no. Yes, credit is available. Rightly said. Because this is not for my own account, this is for my client. That's the reason credit is available. Good. Virtually good. Very well said. And here also they have said other than plant and machinery. In 17 subsection 5 clause D, again there the exclusion plant and machinery. Now let me make it interesting for all of you. Interesting. Now I'm including valuation provision. Valuation, and it is going to be very much interesting. And then a business strategy, business model changing as a way forward. Listen very carefully. You gave me a contract of 100 crore. You all are agreeing to that. Bimal Jain, being contractor, has to undertake construction of factory. Now, there is two situations I'm creating for you, two situations. One situation, as a client, as a customer, as a company, you purchase 50 crore rupees cement and iron steel by yourself. GST charged by supplier to you, of which you can't avail credit as per 17 subsection 5 clause D. This was clear to all of you. Now, you have given me this material, cement and iron steel, free of cost, FOC. You have given free of cost to Bimal Jain. Bimal Jain using this cement and iron steel for undertaking construction of factory. Now Bimal Jain has to raise the invoice to you. Now, when I'm supposed to raise the invoice, though it was 100 crore rupees, but 50 crore rupees you have purchased from the market. You provided FOC to me. So my invoice should be net of 50 crore. Am I right? 50 crore. Question will come. And this question is coming from pre-GST service tax regime to GST as well. And here I want right answer from all of you. Listen very carefully. Do Bimal Jain as a main contractor need to include this FOC material value in my valuation for chargeability of GST? You may recall your Vayana Builders judgment in pre-GST era under service tax, and therein we have debated at length. But now in GST, please tell me, do I require to include? Say yes or no. So lot of yes and lot of no. I was sure about it. I was knowing that you may have some kind of debate on this point. Now listen, now Poch. Okay, because Mittal is writing something good. So if someone is writing something good, let me appreciate also. Listen now carefully. What Vikas has written and what I'm saying to you. Listen very carefully. In section 15, which is valuation provision, section 15, subsection 2, clause B. Since there is no PowerPoint presentation before you, I'm giving extempore presentation. Maybe you can note down such provision which I'm highlighting, so that tomorrow if you want to see by yourself, at least you can see such provision. Section 15, subsection 2, clause B says, if supplier is liable, but incurred by recipient, then that value need to be included in the valuation of supplier for the chargeability of GST. Shall I repeat once again? Repeating once again for the benefit of audience. If supplier is liable, of course supplier was liable. 100 crore rupees contract. He was supposed to buy cement and iron steel. Supplier was liable. But incurred by recipient. So recipient purchased 50 crore cement and iron steel and given free of cost to Bimal Jain. Need to be included in my valuation, supplier's valuation for chargeability of GST. So even though I'm supposed to get 50 crore from you, but for the chargeability of GST, I will include this value in my invoice for charging GST. So if I do so, then what happened? On 50 crore as a company, when you purchase cement and iron steel, credit was not available. You given me FOC now, again included on 100 crore, which would have been 50 crore. I'm charging GST, credit is not available. So you have to take extra burden of GST, which is additional cost in your hands. So what you should do, you should go back and change your contract. Make sure that such kind of contract need to be properly worded. Now this should not be left open. Whenever you have no choice and you want to use quality material, you do not put obligation on supplier, lest the contract be of 50 crore as against 100 crore. Had it been the case, now question goes to all of you. Had it been the case, let's say contract was only 50 crore rupees from you, 50 crore cement and steel, you say you will provide to me. I have differently wording now. I'm not making 100 crore. It was only meant for 50 crore and I need to use material which you are going to provide me. Then do I require to include value in my valuation for the chargeability of GST? Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I'm really loving it. Believe me, I'm loving it. I never thought of that you would be so apt, so clear with the terms which you're going to tell me. Yes, not required. No inclusion required. And this is the clarity of valuation for the chargeability of GST. Now pause. Now pause. Now pause. Uh, One more question. I've said in the ITC and valuation, I'm coming to the one important aspect. Why? My question to the government of India, central and state, my GST law, and to my all professional colleague now. As a company, you have constructed factory, you may have constructed mall, you may have constructed hotel. Mall, hotel, factory. You as a company going to use in the course of furtherance of business, factory going to be used for manufacturing activity of goods and goods are chargeable to GST. Mall you are going to let out, GST charge on letting out. Hotel also again going to be let out for commercial purpose, GST chargeable. For undertaking works contract services, which I did for you, why credit is not available in the hands of my client and customer? They're going to use this factory, mall, and hotel for their taxable supplies, outward supply. Why credit is not available? Big debated. It is debated at length pan India. Debated at length pan India, I'm telling you, pan India. The Odisha High Court judgment, Odisha High Court judgment, safari retreats. And in that judgment, it is being stated, credit is available. So contrary to 17 subsection 5, safari retreats, Odisha High Court, which is sub judice now before Honorable Supreme Court. Odisha High Court has said this credit is available. Now, I'm going to with certain background. Listen carefully. Listen very carefully. All right, Mr. Bhavin Mehta, I appreciate it when you're putting your word that Odisha High Court judgment, what Bhavin is saying, sir, this judgment is being stayed by Supreme Court. Yes, I was supposed to tell you also, so stayed by Supreme Court. But there's no contrary. Stayed means the existence of this Odisha High Court. Before you debate on this point, Mr. Bhavin and Mr. Rakesh Hans, those who are saying Mr. Chetan, now one point which I want to highlight here for everyone. When we introduced GST law through Constitution Amendment Act, there was some object clause. What was the object clause, you know? There should be seamless flow of credit and should not be cascading. Should not be cascading. Is it not against object clause of GST law? When Constitution got amended for introduction of GST, am I not following the object clause, which was the theme, preamble for introduction? I'm saying it was preamble, Mr. Bhavin, and those who are saying, I'm just putting their name because this is very important for the nation to know. My object clause was saying, Bimal, there would be seamless flow of credit. First part. Second part, when GST got introduced, I was very happy when I saw the definition of input service and capital goods. They say credit is available, Bimal, if it is used or intended to be used in the course or furtherance of business. Now, when I'm saying so, I'm not getting this point why they have created negative list in the GST law when objective was to make GST law good and simple tax. we have seen lot many challenges which is approaching to the Supreme Court. We have debated that 3B is not a return under section 39, which came by way of rule. We are also debating rule 36 sub rule 4 capping provision 10% of ITC for invoice and debit note not uploaded by supplier has not coming in my 2A. Now here you may come and ask, Bimalji, tell me your views, whether we should take such credit or we should not take such credit. Now, for taking such credit or not taking such credit, I need to discuss this thing for a few minutes. Bear with me. If you ask me, I will take this credit. If you ask me, I will take this credit. What I will do, I'm telling you, I will not use this credit till the time matter is decided by Supreme Court. If hypothetically I'm assuming it is decided against, I will reverse my credit. Hence, question come with the interest and penalty leviable. Then question will come with the interest and penalty is leviable. When I'm reversing credit, which I have not utilized, now I'm telling you all to all the person. See, for availing credit, there's a provision called section 16 subsection 4 of GST Act. And there are two dates provided, that earliest of two dates you must avail credit pertaining to that financial year. Let's assume if I'm talking about 18-19 financial year, and I'm going to ask you the question, please. 18-19 financial year, if this credit is there, then you have to evaluate a situation if you avail and if you don't avail. You have to evaluate the situation. For 18-19, for availing credit, for 18-19, there will be earliest of two date. What is the earliest of two date? First, due date of furnishing return under section 39, which is already got debated, 3B versus GSTR 3. Let's assume I'm assuming that 3B is a return under section 39, though got debated, got judgment from Gujarat High Court. So under 39, we are filing 3B for September month following the end of 18-19. So 20th October 2019 is the due date, clear to all? Or date of furnishing annual return for 18-19, which is 30th June 2020. So earliest of due date would be 20th October 2019. And we all know we are getting many notices from the department for availing credit of 18-19. If avail thereafter, department sending notices. So I'm not going to discuss this point here, but I'm only creating importance if you have availed but not utilized. And if you have not availed, there's no question of utilization. So I have made the case that I have availed this credit, knowing the fact it's a block credit. Sub judice before Honorable Supreme Court, at least I'm satisfying one condition, last date of section 16, subsection 4. Had it not been taken, had it not availed, I would have lost the opportunity for availing this credit in case Supreme Court decide in my favor. I hope you're getting my point. I hope, say yes or no. First you say in comment box yes or no. I want to hear that. Yes, okay, you're getting it. Perfect, perfect. So what I'm saying, yes, I've availed credit knowing the fact this is subjective credit, disputed credit. Now what I will do, I will wait till Supreme Court decide, let's say 2 years, let's say 3 years, let's assume hypothetically. But I will only ensure I'm not using this credit. I will not utilize this credit just to safeguard no interest, no penalty. There's one Patna High Court judgment in the commercial steel, and in that case it is being stated, unless the credit result into, unless the credit result into reduction in output tax liability, reduction in output tax liability, no interest, no penalty, no interest, no penalty. And to substantiate in a very layman language, very easy language, listen to me very carefully. And this is easy language because so that tomorrow, I know my all lawyers friends are listening to me. They must convince by practical approach so that they can, whenever they get opportunity, they can present this case in this manner. Let's say I got 1,000 rupees, my GST liability, 1,000 rupees. Now I need to make the payment. So I got 500 rupees lying in my e-credit ledger. Let's assume all our numbers for assumption. And this 100 rupees includes this 100 rupees, which is block credit, assume block credit. So my 500 rupees includes 100 rupees, which is a block credit, which is otherwise not available to me. I've availed and kept my e-credit ledger. Now for making payment of 1,000 rupees, I'm paying 900 rupees through my e-cash ledger. Now I need to make 100 rupees, payment of 100 rupees. I'm making payment of 100 rupees from my e-credit ledger. Now question will come. Department will say, Bimal, you have used 100 rupees. I will say, I have used my otherwise eligible credit, 400 rupees. I have used 100 rupees from 400. 100 rupees which was wrongly availed was kept intact. I have not used the same. Now which I am reversing suo motu. So you got getting two dates, either before audit comes up or Supreme Court decide. As per your business exigencies, my advice to all of you would be, please avail the credit to satisfy the condition of last date to avail. And reverse, for reverse, you must be getting good time period in your hand. Reverse, but only ensure you're not utilizing it. This is what my submission to all of you. So having said that, now let me move to the next topic, next point under this construction services. Next is registration. I know that if I carry on, we will get it connected and tuned together, but listen very carefully. Now, registration, construction services and works contract services, pan-India dispute, pan-India dispute. Listen now, what I'm asking, and here I'm going to ask you, Mukulji is also saying absolutely correct. So Mukulji is the senior learned person from our side, north side, but nevertheless, let me start with, and I would be looking answer from everyone, each one of you who is participating. Let's say I'm a Delhi-based contractor. I'm Delhi-based contractor registered in Delhi. So I'm changing the now gear. Now we are discussing registration versus place of supply. Registration versus place of supply for construction services, for construction services. Listen now carefully. I'm a contractor registered in Delhi. I'm getting a one contract, let's say construction of factory for my client in Tamil Nadu, And I'm also creating this example. This client is giving me a contract from Delhi. So privity of contract, supplier. So you may take a piece of paper because you have to go slow because this is very little tricky. That's the reason I want each one of you to pass. Each one of you to pass. I'm a supplier in Delhi, registered. My client who has given me a contract, he's also Delhi registered. But this client has given me a work of construction of factory in Tamil Nadu. Now my first question to all of you, being Bimal Jain, who is registered in Delhi, does he require to take a new registration in Tamil Nadu also? Say yes or no. Yes or no? Does he require? Okay, okay, listen now, listen now. All right, all right, all right, perfect, perfect. So I have created some interest. I'm getting yes, no, both together. Listen carefully now. I'm just making this question more interesting. Bimal Jain undertaking 31 contract in 31 different states. Those who are saying I need to take registration, this question goes to them only. Those who are saying, yes, I need to take registration in Tamil Nadu, then this question goes to only such, person. If I have taken 31 contract in 31 different states, am I supposed to take 31 registration? I'm asking all of you. I'm only asking all of you now. Now you started, jerking your mind. 31 registration in 31 state, then it is going to be Pandora's box. Pandora's box. Now listen carefully what I'm telling you. There's a concept called location of supplier and location of recipient, and it is being defined in IGST Act 2017. Under section 2, subsection 15 of IGST Act, location of supplier, contractor means location of supplier will be if he is supplying services from a place where he has taken registration. That should be the place. So I've taken registration in Delhi. I will always say, no, I will not take 31 registration. I will not take registration in Tamil Nadu. I'm supplying from my Delhi office. Let's say I'm countering now. I'm supplying from Delhi office. This is one part. Place which is registered. Second, if I'm not supplying from my registered place of business, rather I'm supplying from my fixed establishment. What is fixed establishment, you know? I'm going to send my team to Tamil Nadu. They would be having office in Tamil Nadu. And from that office, they are going to undertake this work. Then as per location of supplier definition, they say that fixed establishment going to be location of supplier. In that case, registration required for Tamil Nadu. But what is the meaning of fixed establishment? It is being defined. Fixed establishment means which is being defined by way of sufficient degree of presence of human resources and technical resources. So maybe for execution of a contract, I have deployed the team sufficient degree of presence of human and technical resources. But let's say if I'm undertaking all the broader aspect from Delhi office, it is only, you can say, a site office which is working under supervision of Delhi office. I can always argue that that site office is not my fixed establishment. I will continue to be Delhi registered. Third, establishment most directly concerned. I will continue to say it is Delhi which is undertaking establishment most directly concerned. Otherwise, usual place of residence. So I said place of business which is registered for Bimal Jain, fixed establishment most directly concerned, or usual place of residence. Why we are debating on this point? This is a big issue. Let me create this interest so that you can get methodology of GST in a right perspective. It is debated at length pan-India, but why we are debating, that's the moot question. Those who are saying that Bimal Jain has to take registration, they have some reason in their mind. What is reason in their mind? Listen. For undertaking construction in Tamil Nadu, I would be purchasing cement and iron steel from local supplier Tamil Nadu to Tamil Nadu. Might be this is the case. That's what you would be thinking. that Bimal Jain is purchasing this cement, iron, steel from local supplier Tamil Nadu to Tamil Nadu, he will charge CGST and SGST. If I'm not registered in Tamil Nadu, then I will not get credit in Delhi. That is the problem you're seeing. Foreseeing this problem only. Now keep this parameter in your mind. Who said I'm going to apply 10(1)(a) of IGST Act? 10(1)(a) says when supply involves movement of goods. Let's go slow because this is a tricky issue, so I need your little concentration on the topic. When supply involves movement of goods, either by supplier or by recipient or by any other person, in that case, place of supply would be where delivery terminates. So you're assuming that my local supplier of Tamil Nadu will charge CGST and SGST. I'm contradicting. No, I'm going to apply 10(1)(b). 10(1)(b) of IGST Act. What is 10(1)(b)? Now here supplier say Tamil Nadu, supplying to my site in Tamil Nadu, but raising invoice to Bimal Jain in Delhi. Raising invoice to Bimal Jain in Delhi. So what happened? He will charge IGST 10(1)(b). I'm not going into detail, but you know 10(1)(b), that supplier in Tamil Nadu will charge IGST. Now what Bimal Jain will do with the IGST? He's going to use this particular inward supply for the provision of outward in Tamil Nadu. Listen very carefully, very, and I will make it very clear to all of you. Now, Bimal Jain has got IGST in daily registration. Can he hold back this IGST credit in daily registration? This is my question. Can it be holded back? This is the point coming out. Now, answer to all of you. When I'm going to raise invoice, and this is making my whole example clear to all of you. Bimal Jain going to raise invoice for this construction of factory. He got contract only from Delhi client, Now tell me, Bimal Jain going to charge CGST, SGST as intrastate or IGST as an interstate supply? Tell me, say IGST or CGST, SGST. I'm watching. I want to see comment box. I want to see that how many of you are really going with me. Okay, perfect. Carry on. I just want to see audience. There are more than, more than 465 audience. Perfect. Okay, now pause. For charging GST by Bimal Jain supplier pertaining to immovable property, in relation to immovable property, location of supplier Delhi and place of supply would be location of immovable property, not recipient of my client in Delhi. It will always be IGST transaction. So I'm going to charge IGST to this client. So now I've charged IGST. So with this one transaction, when I purchase cement and iron steel on bill to SIP to 10(1)(b) IGST charge, but I know that GST component of this transaction must accrue to the state of Tamil Nadu, not to Delhi, because it is consumed in Tamil Nadu. When I'm using this goods for construction, I'm again charging IGST. So I'm utilizing IGST credit for my IGST liability. So this IGST moved to now Tamil Nadu. So SGST portion of IGST, which came from Tamil Nadu to Delhi because of 10(1)(b), again gone back to Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu was supposed to get SGST component, which they got it, irrespective of registration. So I'm just creating importance that I need not require to take registration. unless that is a fixed establishment. Unless the establishment most directly concerns comes in. So I'm creating this important. Now, when I charge IGST to my client, in Delhi, can he take credit? Please answer it. Can you take credit? Please. Can you take credit? That's the Mayank, that's the question I'm asking you now. Can he take credit? No, he can't. He can't. When I will show place of supply Tamil Nadu, he can't. He can't take credit. So what happened? My client has to take ISD registration, input service distributor registration, and distribute this credit which is pertaining to Tamil Nadu. Are you listening me carefully now? What I'm saying, this client has to take ISD registration and then distribute this credit from Delhi to Tamil Nadu so that this transaction got moved to Tamil Nadu. Now this is a business. It is not goods. ISD, you cannot distribute goods credit. I'm talking about works contract. Believe me, I've charged works contract invoice to my client, supply of service. I've not raised my goods invoice. Now, I just want from the audience. I know I've picked up very tricky issue. I just want from the audience in a comment box, do you want me to repeat this aspect once again so that you can digest, or you want me to carry forward? Okay, please repeat. Okay, all right. So now henceforth. Okay. Those who are saying no, those who are saying there are few no and more yes, listen to me. I could understand that there is certain clarity required. Just listen carefully. Now everyone would be keeping mum, and just thinking the way I'm talking about. I have justified. Now listen carefully. Now no more comment. Now nothing to be written in a comment box. I do not want to see anything in comment box. You just listen to me. Listen. Instead of taking 31 registration, I'm advocating, no, I will not take 31 registration. I will continue with my daily registration. How this transaction is possible in GST. This I was explaining to all of you. So let's listen now very carefully. Bimal Jain, supplier registered in Delhi, got contract from a client registered in Delhi for construction of factory, which is works contract service in Tamil Nadu. Bimal Jain, as a works contract service provider, is not taking registration in Tamil Nadu because he believes he's providing services from the business, place of business he's registered. Now, I've taken Delhi registration now. From Delhi, I'm providing works contract services. Now, in this scenario, supplier of cement and iron steel, Tamil Nadu based, supplying cement and iron steel in Tamil Nadu only. They will not be sending to Delhi. They will be sending directly at my site in Tamil Nadu. So there may be a debate whether 10(1)A is applicable or 10(1)B is applicable. If I say 10(1)A, then place of supply would be where delivery terminates. So you will be advising he should charge CGST and SGST. If he's charging CGST and SGST, then Bimal Jain in Delhi can't take credit. Bimal Jain in Delhi can't take credit. If Bimal Jain want to avail credit, he has to take registration in Tamil Nadu. That might be peeping up in your mind. I said, no. I will not take registration in Tamil Nadu. I cannot undertake 31 registration because I got contract in 31 state. I will ask my supplier, boss, you supply material at my site in Tamil Nadu, but raise invoice to me at daily registration. I'm just getting into 10(1)(b). So at my instance, supply is delivering the goods at the site where work is going on. So what happened? If I assume hypothetically, let's assume, go along with me. Don't create question in your mind. Just you sail through me. If I agree 10(1)(b) applicable, then he's going to charge IGST to my daily registration. Bimal Jain has got IGST now. Can he take credit? I'm saying that I'm taking this credit, taking inward supply for the provision of my supply of service, works contract services rendered in Tamil Nadu. So if you logically try to visualize GST, GST is a destination-based consumption tax. Destination-based consumption tax. It must accrue to a state where goods or services are ultimately consumed. So this cement and iron steel consumed in Tamil Nadu, but charge IGST, you would be thinking, how come then it has gone to Delhi? Because SGST component of IGST has gone to Delhi. I'm not stopping here. My subsequent, when I'm going to raise invoice, I'm going to raise invoice to my client. And when I'm going to raise invoice, it would be interstate supply. I said location of supply Delhi, place of supply, location of immovable property, which is Tamil Nadu. I'm going to charge IGST. So what happened? IGST credit on inward supply taken, used for discharging my IGST liability. So ultimately, SGST component of IGST has gone back to Tamil Nadu with this routing of transaction. And registration could have been avoided. So 31 registration is not required for Bimal Jain being contractor. Now, having said that, I asked another question. Now, when I'm raising IGST invoice to daily registered client, how he will take credit? I'm raising invoice as a supplier of service, works contract services. I'm not raising my invoice as a supplier of goods. I'm raising my invoice. All right. Perfect. Yeah, let's listen carefully now. Okay. So I said SGST component of IGST moved to Tamil Nadu. Now, whether this company can take credit of this IGST in daily registration, answer is no. They can't. They have to take ISD registration because I'm going to raise invoice as a supplier of service, works contract service. I'm not raising invoice as a supplier of goods, so that ISD credit can't be distributed. This can't be create the logic. So I'm saying that with this process, I can avoid taking registration in all 31 states. So combination, maybe my client is in Tamil Nadu, I'm in Delhi, maybe I've created some office in Tamil Nadu, raise invoice in Delhi, possible. See what happened. I'm giving you one more example. I'm just creating example for you so that you can understand that this is just one example I have thrown. There may be n number of combination which can be created. Let's assume hypothetically, I've taken registration in Tamil Nadu. Let's assume. And got a contract from client in Delhi. Please listen carefully. Listen now this is very important. That's the reason I'm asking you. Now I need to raise invoice to my client registered in Delhi. I'm going to charge CGST and SGST because location of supply Tamil Nadu, place of supply is location of immovable property, CGST and SGST. Can my client take credit in Delhi registration? I'm not discussing 17 subsection 5 at the moment. I'm not discussing. I'm just telling you, had credit been available, my Delhi client can take credit. No, they can't take credit. So we have to really find out way and mechanism of doing the transaction on thumb rule of GST is a destination based consumption tax. So I just created this analogy to create in your mind that no permutation combination of lot many things are available. Now I'm going to discuss two more things. Time is paused. We are 5:40. Two important thing which I would like to draw your attention. Come to the next point now. Time is less. That's the reason I'm just touching base. Rate, GST rate. Request my friends, those who are watching, please 20 minutes more with me only, so that you can get maximum out of me. If you allow me, I'm here to give my best to you. Allow me 20 minutes. I will try to give my best to you. Please. So listen carefully. Listen carefully. Service rate notification. I'm a works contract service provider undertaking construction work. I will have to look at my service rate notification. Service rate notification is 11/2017. Now, what problem has arisen and what is the issue? You know that pre-GST era, there was exemption notification 25/2012. Entry 12, you must be recalling, of that mega exemption notification when services provided to the governmental authority, local authority, pertaining to construction, erection, commissioning, installation, completion, fitting out, repair, maintenance, renovation, alteration of, like school, hospital, any building which is used other than for commercial purpose, lot many historical monuments, you would be knowing that exemption was there. So listen now, this part is very important. That's the reason I'm explaining. In pre-GST era, if as a contractor, I used to provide services to government, like central government, state government, union territory, governmental authority, local authority, government entity. Pre-GST, there was specific exemption by the entry 12. Entry 12. And there was one more exemption. If I have subcontracted the work to my subcontractor, it's 100 crore rupees. Let's say you, government has given me 100 crore rupees contract. I subcontracted 50 crore rupees to my subcontractor. Now, subcontractor providing services to main contractor of works contract services, which is otherwise exempted. It was given exemption in the hands of subcontractor to main contractor. Exemption by the entry 29 clause H. Entry 29 clause H. So, for the benefit of viewers, subcontractor giving services to the main contractor giving services to the governmental entities pertaining to these specified entry under entry 12 were exempted. So subcontractor exempted, main contractor exempted. What happened in GST? What happened in GST? Rate. First, we have to understand whether those exemptions are being carried on in GST. Answer is big no. Whatever exemption we have seen pre-GST were not continued in GST. So exemption not continued. So GST was leviable. At what rate? Initially it was 18%. Initially it was 18%. And subsequently, this service rate notification got amended number of times. They have inserted Roman 3, Roman 6 of serial number 3 of construction services under the rate notification 11/2017. And they have reduced the rate from 18 to 12 or somewhere 5%. 18 to 12 or somewhere 5%. This is the rate notification which I'm referring to. Now the question came up, what happened if Bimal Jain has subcontracted? Bimal Jain has subcontracted 50 crore in GST regime. Whether subcontractor will apply the same rate as charged by the main contractor? This is the question. I hope you all are clear. Whether my subcontractor going to charge the same rate as charged by the main contractor to the government entity? I'm looking for the answer. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. Listen. Now listen the answer. Listen the answer. Listen, my answer to all of you. They're the Roman 9. You can just take down because these are going to help you. It got inserted by notification number 25/2018. And one oblique, which was effective from 25th January 2018. And in this case, they have provided that for Roman 3 and Roman 6, pertaining to that exempted one in pre-GST got taxable in GST, they have categorically said whatever rate applicable in the hands of main contractor can be applied by the subcontractor to the main contractor. So first I'm answering, it is specific to that entry. If you're falling into that entry, then you can apply the same rate. Otherwise, same rate is not applicable. So in case you want to look for the answer, whether subcontractor can apply the same rate as charged by the main contractor, my answer to all of you would be that it is specific to that entry under construction services. Roman 3, Roman 6 got amended by Roman 9 for charge rate for the subcontractor to the main contractor. Now, having said that, please tell me in a comment box, have you got it? Subcontractor can apply the same rate for specified entry for adopting the rate as charged by the main contractor to the government entity. Say yes, then I'm okay. All right. Perfect. So I'm getting more yes. That is all right. Now listen. Exemption. All right. Listen to me now carefully. Listen now. Now I want your attention. Two more topic. Then I conclude. Listen. One is exemption in GST. Now we have to create three layer. Main contractor giving services to the governmental bodies, central government, state government, union territories, local authority, governmental authority, government entity. So he's giving services to this. Generally, GST leviable, maybe at a reduced rate. When government is giving services to the mass public, whether GST leviable, tell me yes or no. When government is giving services to the public, GST leviable? No, exempted, except certain transaction, where RCM going to be applicable. Perfect. Somebody written RCM also. I go except some of the specified transaction which is falling under RCM. So what I have discussed, let me summarize in a very simplistic way. Whatever entry we have seen, entry 12 under service exemption notification 25/2012 prior to pre-GST, those exemption is not available in GST regime. It is chargeable to GST. initially started with 18%. Later on got amended and reduced to 12 or 5%. Then dispute arising with a subcontractor providing services to the main contractor can adopt the similar rate as charged by the main contractor got effected only from 25th June 2018. So prior to that, this dispute was existing. So only from 25th January 2018, it got amended and changed. 25th January 2018. Pertaining to exemption, now main contractor giving services to the government entity, no exemption. Government entity giving to the public, exemption except certain transaction which is under RCM method. This was service rate and exemption. Now the last component, time of supply. Time of supply and transition provision. Time of supply, as I said, I'm a works contract service provider. It would be supply of service. I need to look at section 13 of CGST Act. And what is time of supply? Time of supply says when GST going to be levied and deposited to the government. Section 13 says, Bimal, you have to determine time of supply as per section 13, and it says earliest of due date. Earliest of due date. Date of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, is a time of supply for discharging the GST liability. And date of invoice to be as per section 31. And 31 says you must raise invoice within 30 days from the date of provision of service. If you don't raise invoice within 30 days, then it will be date of provision of service and date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. Tell me in comment box, you got it? Please tell me so that I will proceed further. Tell me in comment box, yes, you got it. So time of supply talks about section 13. Now, okay, all right. Now coming back. Being a continuous supply of service, section 31 subsection 5 is going to be applicable for raising invoice. These provision you can jot down somewhere. I know technically I'm proceeding, but it will take time for you to digest. But if you're taking down these provision on a piece of paper, is going to help you. Section 31 subsection 5 says when to raise invoice when it is a continuous supply of service, and works contract service are termed as continuous supply of service. So they say, Bimal, as a works contract service provider, you should raise invoice if your contract where payment terms is determinable, payment terms are identifiable, then you must raise invoice on or before due date when payment to be made. If payment date is not ascertainable, then you should raise invoice on or before date of receipt of payment. Otherwise, if payment terms is not the part of contract, then you should look at the milestone defined in the contract. So you should raise the invoice on or before such milestone achieved in the contract. Now, I could have carried on with a lot of example only on payment terms, milestone, then contradictory. What is the milestone? What should be termed as milestone? But time is a pause. I've given you the time of supply for raising invoice, then determining time of supply. Last point, transition provision. Transition provision. We have moved a contract from pre-GST to GST. Pre-GST to GST. There may be a situation you have carried forward the contract from pre-GST to post-GST. then you'd be looking for, if I have discharged my pre-GST liability, do I require to pay GST again? Or there may be rate difference. Pre-GST, there was a lower rate. Post-GST, there was a higher rate. If I've discharged pre-GST liability, service tax, VAT, but rate is higher in GST regime, do I require to pay differential tax? Lot many provisions. I am going to highlight 2 transition provision, which you must take a note, which is going to help you. Section 142, subsection 11, clause B. 142, subsection 11, clause B and subclause C. What it says, Bimal, if something which is chargeable to service tax, leviable to service tax, as per pre-existing law under Finance Act, Chapter 5, then you can't levy GST on said transaction. So let's say some transaction which is leviable to service tax, as per time of supply, in pre-GST service tax provision, that cannot be charged under GST, that will continue to be liability and demand under pre-GST law. Second, in case you have paid some pre-GST liability, maybe service tax on advance money received, but supply made in GST regime, you have paid something in pre-GST, VAT or service tax regime, but supply is made in GST regime, then 142 subsection 11 clause C says, Bimal, whatever you have paid as a service tax and VAT, take credit of the same and then charge GST. So take credit, utilize that credit for discharging GST liability. So transition provision is offering you a window, and through that window, you can just see the taxability of continued works contract and construction contract. Sir, now I'm almost reaching to my last component. I'm going to give you 2 things to all of you. Those who are watching me till last, I'm going to give you the 2 important things. I know many senior friends are around. I know my young lawyers friends are around and they're watching me. My 2 points. First, we must be united together, irrespective of any religion, language, race, and caste, to fight against Corona. We are educated class and we have to really rage and educate everyone around that we have to be together to fight against Corona. We must do that. Till 3rd May 2020 lockdown, we must adhere. At the outset, AIFTP South Zone deserve big appreciation for inviting for this webinar, and I'm thankful to each one of you who had continued for last 2 hours with me. Though I'm not in front of you, but I have tried my best as if I'm interacting with all of you. I hope you agree with me. I hope you really agree that at least we have tuned together, interacted together, and made like lively session today. First part. Second part, during lockdown, many things are happening. I'm sharing my mobile number with each one of you for your feedback, suggestion, and query. During lockdown, if you're having any query, you can write WhatsApp to me on this number. I will try to respond back to each one of you. I will take out my time and try my best. So you can take down my number, wherein you can always send your query and your feedback and suggestion. In case you have liked Bimal Jain today, you can also like saying that, yes, I liked your presentation. Will give me the happiness and price of your smile coming back to me. My mobile number is 98-106-04-563. 98-106-04-563. So friends, allow me to say thanks to each one of you for such a lovely interaction today. I wish and pray to God that God bless to all of us together. We will fight out Corona and come back with the smiling faces. and do our work as we used to. So let's enjoy. Take care of yourself, your family. Stay at home. Thank you very much. Over to the organizer.
Thank you,
Satyanarayana.
Bimalji. Thank you very much for your lovely presentation. As usual, without even PPT, your extempore was marvelous. We just can't. I don't have any words to explain the way you explain the things. And see, you are seeing the comments right down, right on the other side. So everybody is happy. And one more thing I wanted to tell you, sir, it touched 500 participants at one point of time.
Okay, okay, okay.
So it's because of your name. Since you are there, everybody has joined today's program. And of course, and now we're coming to a last session because I believe it's only up to 6 o'clock we can be in.
Satyanarayana, I have increased little bit time. You can
Okay,
have
fine.
10
That's good.
10,
That's
15
good.
minutes. Murthy ji, if he wants to comment, please.
Yeah, Murthy sir will come.
It's a
Good
great,
evening.
it is a great seminar that was organized by South Zone in a period of dreadful disaster time through which we are all reeling. Really, the output available to all the participants is excellent. Mr. Bimal Jain's presentation is very lucid in language, very educated and informal, and I really congratulate him and everybody. I hope that every participant has learned a lot, and we once again will have the opportunity of inviting for some other session. I congratulate the chairman, Mr. Satyanarayana, and all others from the South Zone, and I also thank National President Mrs. Nikita Vadeka for giving this opportunity to South Zone. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any questions? I think we can close now. Bimalji, I think you have replied almost all the queries while delivering.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, no words can express the way you have explained it very nicely, very lucidly, and you have covered everything. And I'm really happy that my members have enriched by your delivery. Thank you very much. We look forward to having you again on some other occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I'm ending the minute, sir. With thanks to all of you, friends. Let's tomorrow. Let me tell you, I'm sending a new password. We have Dr. Samdani, a renowned doctor from South Bombay. He's going to address us on the myths about COVID and also on the how to stay healthy in the house. It being Sunday, this is Bimalji, you are welcome. It being Sunday, we are organizing this for the benefit of the family. On Monday, we are having cybercrime and the how to identify the fake news. Tuesday, we have Premlata Madam, a senior advocate from Delhi, would be delivering the lecture on income tax penalty otherwise and other issues. So friends, keep watching our messages, keep joining. Happy to be with you. Goodbye. Good evening to all of you.